Hello, my name is Eduardo and today I am here with another tutorial for Thunkable or App Inventor or AppyBuilder. Well, the idea with this tutorial is to show you the part 2 of my graphics core, okay? So, well, as I told you in the last tutorial in part 1, I was planning to use this kind of procedure in one of my games. If you remember, I have a tutorial like Space Invaders, okay, or Space Inventor. If you check, this is a tutorial with when you have the problem about responsive screen, okay, but in this one it is not fixed, we don't have any score, so, and that's terrible, I guess. So I don't know if I have another one here, another old version. Yes, well, the idea is that, check, if you play the game, there is no purpose in the game because you don't have the score, so you just finish the aliens and that's it, and then you start over. So that's not very good. So when you add a score, games are now looking more like games, okay? So I'm very wise. Now check, I added a score here inside the canvas, so I am using 4 sprites. And here for the high score I am using buttons as I showed you in the previous, okay? So you can work with both, with things that just use images. You can work with this graphic score. You can also use numbers, okay? So maybe to make a game where you appear a random number and then you just click something, or I don't know. So that's the good idea, and you can resize them the way you want, okay? So for example, in this case I just have these ones. I just changed the buttons to this. I made something in GIMP, and that's it. Well, in GIMP I did these buttons, and I just import them. Well, basically that is the idea. Then you just play the game, and you just have this. You have the score here with Firebase. And that's it. And if you check, it is better now because now you have like a purpose, probably to beat the high score or something, okay? Anyway, we're going to continue, okay? By the way, you can check my tutorial about Space Inventor, okay, in my channel. Anyway, so let's start. The first thing that we need to start, as I told you, we're going to work with Thunkable, but you can follow this tutorial using App Inventor. So we are going to go out. Thank you, goodbye. So we go to Thunkable, and then we just connect to Thunkable. So let's follow this, the MFFQG. Okay. So we are here. We are almost ready to start. So now we're going to set the screen now again here in Thunkable. So we can use sprites, or you can use images, okay? Pictures here, or images. So first we're going to add a layout. We're going to use the same thing as before. Horizontal arrangement. We set the width to fill parent. Then we just change this because if you see, let's put it on portrait mode, or to landscape. This is just to fix, sometimes with my tablet happens these things. Portrait, and that's it, we fixed that, sorry. Anyway, we have the horizontal arrangement, and in this horizontal arrangement we are going to add the pictures. 1, 2, 3, 4 images. Then we're going to center them, and probably we're going to use here responsive. Here sizing responsive, we are going to use percentages, so probably something about 20%. So we have this, and probably these buttons, they are like okay if we just set them the height to 10%, the height 10%. I just uploaded the images that I did. That's it. So you have button 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now we need to set the default image, probably something to 0. Picture 0, 0, and 0. Okay, so we have 0, 0, 0, 0. Excellent. Now we're going to change just the screen a little bit for a light gray thing. So now to change the score, we can use anything as I did before, just touching, or probably just a text, or I just go here and I'm going to do it the same way as before. We go to drawing an animation, we drag a canvas, we set the width to 80% and the height to 70%, and we change the color probably to gray. That's it. So when we touch this, we are going to use it to just to increase the score. I guess we are almost ready to go to the blocks. So let's go to the blocks. If you remember, in the previous tutorial I showed you a different way to do it. Okay, so you were using a lot of conditions, and it was like, what if I want to have like millions or something? So you need to modify and add the conditions. Now we're going to do it in a more automatic way. So the first thing is we create the variables. We're going to create almost the same variables, or I guess the same variables. So we're going to call the first one, it was numbers, so these are the numbers, and we're going to use here a list from CSV row text. Then we just use this and we'll insert it in here. I don't know anything here. Let me check if we cannot make this thing here in Thunkable, I mean. So we set 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's it. Yes, it was just an error because it was empty. Okay, so you have the 9 numbers. Now the second thing that we need to do is create a list with the images. So we are going to create the list with the images, and these are numbers images, and we're going to set this to make list, and you just add them here. So you can use this, and that's it. So we're going to make the list. So the list, it is just the numbers of the names of the numbers. So 0 point of the images, I mean. So that is 0.png. That's it. So this is just like a manual way to do it. there are some other ways to create your list. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I guess I will show you this one, this one, this one. Then you just write 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we're missing just number 9. So you need to place them in order. It is very important to keep the order. So you just duplicate this one, you just drag here number 9, you write it, then you have number images, and there is one thing more that we need to create. We are going to work with for each today, okay? So, and we're going to use a component or a list of images in this case. So if you're working with sprites, you need to do the same procedure for the 4 images that will have in your number. So let's create a list for that, and we're going to call it images component. That's it. So now we're going to set these to empty list first, and then we're going to add the elements when we start the app. Okay, so now we go here to list, add. We're going to add these items when we start the app, when we initialize. You can also add them in a procedure, okay, just to have organized your blocks in the initialize. So you call this make component score, something like that. And then the list is this one, and we're going to add image 1. We go to the bottom and we just drag the name. Then we just add image 2 and image 4 as well. Okay, Control CD, image 4, image 3, and image 2. Sorry. So we are almost done with this. We add this procedure when we start the app. Okay, next thing that we need, it is to create a variable score. So let's call it my score, and we're going to set it to 0, and that's it. Also the procedure to increase the variable score when we touch the canvas, so we can just call it this to make points or add points or increase points procedure. Basically the idea is when we touch the canvas, we are going to increase the variable my score plus, so we're going to say take this one, my score plus 1. That's it. And then we're going to use the procedure to create this thing. Okay, so I guess that's okay. This procedure we're going to insert it here in canvas. When we touch the canvas, we want to increase this variable, okay, or we want to use this procedure, make points, and probably we need something to see the changes, so we can use here the labels, okay, so just to see something while we are working. Okay, so we're going to drag here a label, and we're going to use it for the temporary score, just to see, okay, the changes. So now we can use label text, and we are going to set it here, even here, duplicate, and that's it. We have everything ready. We have created 3 lists. One list with the numbers from 0 to 9, then another list with the names of the images from 0 to 9. Then we just create a list of images because we're going to work with for each. Okay, so we have image 1, image 2, image 3, and image 4. This is very important, the order. I will show you why, I hope. Then we just create some simple procedures to increase the score, like if we were in a game or something. Now, let's start. And we're going to create a next procedure to change the numbers, and we're going to call it change numbers. Change numbers to images. Oh, that looks pretty cool. Okay, now for this we are going to first check the length of the score. If we have like one number here, for example, if we have 20 or something, okay, probably if I increase this, I have just one digit, okay, so the length of this text it is just 1. If I go to 10, so the length is 2. So now the first thing is we are going to create a local variable, and we are going to call it index. Then we are going to set this variable to, we go here to length, and then from my global score. In this case, we know that the length of this one, it is 2. Now we're going to use for each. In this case, we're going to use for each item. So in this case, we have pictures in this component that we just created. For each picture in the list, which list? Well, the list of pictures, okay, of these ones, okay, of the components, not the images themselves, okay, so just the components. So we go here to images component. So I mean it's this one, this list. So for each member of this list, we are going to do something. We are going to check first if, so we're going to check the index. If the index, it is, in this case, I'm going to use more than or bigger than, so we use index. It's bigger than 0. So you need to check if my value it is greater than this. And then we're going to use, the good thing about using for each, okay, is that you are going to modify all of them, okay, at the same time. So we go to any component, these blocks are here, any component, and then because we are working with pictures or images, we're going to use any image. And then for the first thing that we're going to do, it's take this, that is set image visible of component. Which component? Well, picture, component picture 2, and we're going to set them to true. Why? Well, I will show you why, because we can have some options with this. Now, the most important thing, in any component, in any image, we are going to go for a picture. And here, picture, set image picture of the same component to. Now we're going to use select list item. Remember that in the previous video I showed you like conditions, if the value were like bigger than 10 or something. Well, we are going to simplify these things using here select list item, okay, from the which list? Well, the images, from the list of images that we have, numbers images. So, and which is the index? Well, the index, it will be in here. So we're going to use index in list thing. So tell me which is the index of this thing, one of these things. Okay, the first thing that we are going to do with this, when you are using for each, these blocks that are inside for each are running for this image, for this image, for this image, and for this image. So tell me the indexing list of this thing. We're going to use segment and text. So now here it's very important. We're going to use here the text. It is my score, right? So from this text, we're going to get start. Where does the text start? Number 1, for example, if we have here 12, starts the text here in number 1. See, if we set it to number 1. If we set it to number 2, starts in number 2. Okay, so or number 3 or number 4 or the second number from left to right. Okay, so that's the idea. If we are in 100 or something, so we have starting 1, or if we want to start in the number 2, so in the tens, or in the number 3, okay, in the units. So what? Start. To start, we are going to use the index. So this variable that we just created, this local variable, and the length, we just want to use one name because we're going to separate all of them. So we're going to use 1. And then we have to use here, I removed something. No, sorry. So from which list? Well, the same list, that is list of numbers. In the list of numbers, it is going to check the index of this for the current number. Then we are going to do something with the index, because if not, it's going to repeat the same number. If we just do it right now, let's do it just to see what is happening right now. So I can insert it here in Canvas Touch. Okay, so I can use it here where I am increasing my score, so I can insert it over there. So I go for the procedure, I go for change numbers to images, and then I just click here, and you have 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Why? Well, because we just are repeating the same number, so it is going for the segment. Okay, so you know, I'm checking the index, and the index, it says that it's number 2. Okay, and then we stay there. If we click number 4, 5, 6, it is just using this thing. So now let's modify this to adapt it. So we're going to set the index, and we're going to subtract from the index 1, because remember that the biggest value, it is the length of this number or this text, because it is a text in there. So we have 2. It is using the second number. It is using 2. So we're going to use here index, and then we're going to subtract 1. Every time we run for this loop, it is going to subtract 1 from the index, that is the length of the list. So for the next loop, when it runs the second time, it will set this to, it will use now the first number here, start, it will change to 1. So what happens if we just click? Check. We have 94, then we have 50, but if you check, something is like mixed. Okay, so well, let's fix the first thing. So we're going to have here if the index is bigger to that. Okay, so let's just refresh everything, and let's see without these 7s. Okay, so what's happening? When I click here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then you have 10, but 10 it is in here, and then you have 11, 12, but it is like inverted. So the first thing, it is to tell else. We're going to insert here an else condition. What happens when the number, it is not like, you don't have more numbers than the current index? Well, we're going to just set them. We're going to go here to any component, picture, image, and then we're going to set this of component, because we are inside the for each loop, picture, and we're going to set the picture to the default, that is 0. 0.png. So all the images that are not using anything, okay, or are not used, are going to have this 0 image. But now we have the order inverted. So what can we do? Well, in this case, you can do two things, or change this Or you can go and you check here your component. Probably if we change the order and we said that this is 4, this is 3, this is 2, and this is 1, okay, probably. Okay, we are going to refresh everything. And let's see what's happening if you change the order. 1, 2, 3, because now it is affecting in this order. First check the image 4, then check the image 3, then the 2, and then the 1. So in this case it is just using the 1 because the length of this, it is 1. Now let's see what happens when we get to 10. So now if you check now, it is 2. It is using the loop. First runs the loop. Nothing here, but hey, I have something here. So the first thing that you have, it is 2 minus 1. So it is using here from this number, index 1 here. And for the second one, when I subtract, okay, so for the index 2 here or start 2, I'm going to set the number 1. And when it starts in 2, I set the number 0. Then you go here, 17, 18, 20. So now let's make more, let's increase more the score when we touch to make it 75. What happens if I add 75 every time? Check. That's pretty cool with this procedure. That is another thing that I like when we use for each. Check. What about if I want to disappear these numbers that we are not using? Well, we can just duplicate this guy. And we're going to change this to visible. And we're going to set it to false. Now, that number that we are not using just disappears. So if we refresh the screen, now let's go to the blocks. Let's increase the score just by 3. And now check what's happening. 3, 4, 6. So the numbers that we are not using here are disappear. Or if you want to have them, you just click here and you set them to true. And that's it. You have your numbers over there. So that's the way you can do it. And it's pretty cool. So now, what happens if I want to add an extra image? Well, you go here to designer, to extra numbers, I mean. So probably here I'm going to add another picture or image. So you have check the order. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's add it here. 5. And then we're going to set the picture to 0. And we're going to set it to 20. To 20 it was, or it was 10%. So we have to set it to 10%. Okay, just let's organize this. So you have this one. So you just have to place them. So just let me hide these ones. Now, you know, I'm going to make them smaller for you to see. So let's see the width to, if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. We're going to use 7 numbers. If we have 7 numbers, we're going to divide this to 10%. Let's use 11% of width. Then we're going to have here for this one 11%. Width for this one 11%. And this is the 5th thing that we're going to move to the left. Width 11%. Then we are going to set this one to 11%. and this one it is set to 11%. Now I'm going to add a new image here, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to set it to 0 to 11% for the width, and for the height, well, we know it is 10%. So 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe we can use an extra image over there. And we're going to do the same, picture to 0, and 11, and 10% for height, and 11% for this. Now, we need to check our list. The first list that we need to modify, it is just this one, the list of components. So we have 4, 5, so we need to add 3 more numbers. So we just add here 1, 2, 3. Then we just duplicate these ones, Ctrl C, V. Then we just change from the menu. So we have 4, then we have 5, then we have 6, and then we have 7. Now, if we just refresh the screen, we go to the blocks, we have now the list, and then we are going to increase this by 250, the score, we have 250, we have 1000, and this is the good thing about this procedure. So let's go for something more. 1256. We're going to increase every click. Check. Now the number, it is like this, okay, and you don't need to do anything else if you want to add more numbers, okay. Just add them to the list in the same order that you have, and then you will have your number. You can appear the numbers here. So you have the remaining positions, and that's something pretty cool. So let's add more. So the good idea about this is that you don't need to modify the blocks, okay, or something, or add more conditions, okay, because in the previous video I showed you just, well, the first idea, okay, the first solution, and it's okay, but sometimes you need to add many things, many conditions, and you have a very large block, okay, for procedure. But check with this one, with this very simple procedure here, you have like an automatic way to control all of them, okay. So you have big numbers, and then you just increase, and I guess that's the idea with this tutorial, to make things easier. So you have here the number, you have here the number. It's pretty cool, even with big numbers, okay. So for huge course, so probably 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you have here the number. Pretty cool, right? Well, I hope you like this tutorial, okay. My name is Eduardo, and if you want, you can check my other tutorials that I have, okay. You can check previous tutorial to see this thing, okay, and to check how to work with this, change these images to numbers to images. And I believe me, it is really cool because you can have many options. So if you are very good designing these things, or you can look for some original numbers, okay. So, and you can have something very attractive for your users, okay. Number 0 to 9, and then you can look for this. You can use fonts also. okay, but you can design things, okay, you can make them. For example, you can add a little phrase or emoji, all of these kind of numbers, okay. So I hope you found this tutorial. For example, this check. So probably for an app for kids, you can use these numbers, very attractive numbers, okay? If you are not very nice designing, okay? Or these ones, okay, you can buy them or make them something similar. So, and I guess that's the idea with this tutorial, okay, to show you this possibility. Let me check. So I hope you like the tutorial. Please, any comments, the suggestions or ideas, just let me know them. My name is Eduardo, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.